AI, publication funded by the European Commission under the Erasmus Plus program. This publication has been produced with the financial assistance of the European Commission. The publication reflects the views only of the authors, and the European Commission and the Erasmus Plus National Agency are not responsible for its content. The publication is available under the Creative Commons license. Publication free of charge.
Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. My name is Anna and I'm a lecturer at Alanya University in Turkey. This webinar is a product of our Erasmus KA2 project called Active Women Copybook Solutions in the preparation for the telecommuting, cooperation for innovation and exchange of best practices. And our webinar will focus today on organization of space and time in remote working. We have prepared the materials and the presentation that I will use here in our webinar together with our wonderful partners from Poland, Romania and Cyprus, and our institution in Turkey. So before we start the presentation itself, I would like to show you our website, the website of the project. So if you ever have time and you will maybe need some extra materials or extra information, you will be able to find it here. So the address is active.women.edufacted.pl, and this is simply the main page when you enter. So you will find different information here, e-learning courses, information about our participants, news, and the materials that I'm going to use today. So I hope you find it useful. And if we have time at the end of this webinar, I will provide some more information regarding the project itself at the very end. So let me start with the presentation now. So, organization of space and time in remote working is a very important topic, not only for us as lecturers or academicians, but also for anyone doing any kind of job. It can be work in an office, it can be work from home, it can be, in fact, any kind of task, not really work related, that you have to cover. So we are going to discuss different matters. We will start with workplace organization. Then we will talk about time management, techniques to help with remote working, individual working style, and features supporting the remote working model. While discussing those issues, I will also show you some extra materials that you will be able to use later on and that you can find on our website that I had showed just a little bit earlier. So let's start with workplace organization. The workplace should be characterized by distinctiveness and adaptation, preparation of tools for work, and order. What do these mean exactly? So if we think about separation and adaptation, definitely I think all of you will agree with me that work requires focus. And this is something like very clear that over many years, our brain has already learned the places of work and rest. So home, with all its stimuli associated with rest and housework relaxation, may not be very conducive to work. So the sofa that you can see in the picture, although is very tempting, is not a very good idea if you are going to work from home. So how can we prepare? So first of all, desk or work surface. You need to ensure that there is adequate work surface to spread out, put away your documents, get drowned in your papers. Of course, it all depends on what kind of job you are doing, what kind of tasks you are covering, and what kind of papers, documents, and other equipments you will need But anyhow, you need to make sure that you have enough space for all of them so that you can put them around you and still be comfortable. You need to also think about your health and prepare the chair so that you take care of your back. You have to adjust your chair or armchair for long-term sitting. So to do it correctly, you can check the picture that we have included here in our presentation. You can also search for different videos or look at one of the videos in the link list. So chair is very important, and the workstation, generally speaking, it has to be like optimal workstation for the long-term sitting position. Okay. When we think about preparing the tools for work, it is what you need to operate efficiently. So as I said, this is something personal. This is something individual. This doesn't have to be same for everyone. So the best way will be to create a kind of checklist. I will show you an example of a checklist in a moment, kind of template. So what you can have there, a computer, if you need one for working, is it operational? Okay. If you need the internet, please check the internet connection, if it is working. Phone, is it charged, or do you have the charger nearby? Pen, pencil, or whatever needed, if it is there for you. Don't forget about yourself and your needs. So if you work for a long time, you will definitely need a cup of coffee or a glass of water. So make yourself a coffee or prepare a bottle of water, put them somewhere near so you do not have to stand up after a few minutes. The toilet is also a part of the toolbox, so before you start working, just please use the restroom and make sure that you will be able to work and focus for quite a long time. The order is also very important, and you need to keep your workplace tidy. So what we can see in the picture here is not a perfect workplace at all. So this is not only about protection against flooding of your laptops or documents with tea or coffee or water or whatever drink you have, but also to increase your efficiency and concentration. So definitely you need to make sure that your workplace, your work surface, your chair or workstation, generally speaking, the tools and personal needs and order are all ready for work. So how can we check that? So now I'm going to share one file with you, material, which is a sample of a checklist that will simply help you make sure if you are ready to work. So this is a tool that will help you organize your space and work tools as well. It is worth checking your preparation according to the checklist until it becomes a habit. So, starting with the workplace. Number 1, remove all distractions. Mute your phone, close the applications, turn off the TV or the radio. Number 2, make sure you are comfortable. So, prepare your chair, armchair. Control the windows, lighting, background, anything that is there and could distract you, could make you not comfortable enough to work. Number 3, clean up the desk. So what we just saw in the picture was not perfectly set, so definitely it must be clean. And prepare a jug of water, juice or thermos with coffee or tea. So after you check all those 4 points regarding workplace, you need to just put a tick on the right side in the empty box. Okay. The second category is preparation to work. So number 1, do you have your notebook? Number 2, pens or pencils? 3, different kinds of materials. So proper naming and description will make searching easier here. If you have such particular specific materials that you could include in the list, please do that. So modify the list, okay? Number 4, documents. Number 5, outfits. So feel comfortable. You are at home. You don't need to put your elegant suit on you. So just feel at home. And number 6, as we mentioned, food and toilet. So again, if all those 6 are done and ready, then put a tick on the right. Checking the equipment. Does the internet work? Do we have the internet connection? Headphones, if needed, are there somewhere around you? Computer battery, is your computer charged, or do you have the charger at hand? Phone, again, check the battery and the charger. If those are ready, put the tick. Working from home rules. Number 1, inform household members, say and write when you work. So you could prepare a kind of schedule with days and hours within which you are not available because of your work. Number 2, ask for peace. So when you mention the particular times of the day, and they will know that you need simply be there comfortable, not interrupted, and at peace. Set signals. So close the door. You can also put some sign on the door saying I'm at work or I'm at the meeting or whatever, so that nobody tries even to interrupt and disturb you. Okay, guys, so this is a sample. This is a template that you could modify and you could change according to your needs and your style and your work and tasks. But anyhow, just leave the categories on the left, leave the empty boxes on the right for check, and the whole list could change a little bit, but again, just keep the style as we have prepared it for you. So let's go back to our presentation now. Here we go. So now we're going to talk a little bit about work stoppages. So you definitely need to plan your breaks and keep an eye on them. Breaks between tasks or breaks while you work are very important. If you don't take a break, you may find that by combining leisure, housework, and work, you simply lose control and you neither rest nor take good care of your home, and you will simply feel like you are at work all the time. So you need to plan your time very carefully and make sure that you know when it is time for work, when it is time for leisure, or when it is time for housework. So you have to plan, and this is what we are going to talk about. Plan yourself. Plan the change of activity. At work, if you could go to work, if you were not at home, you would never ever sit all day. Yes, so you don't sit at your computer all the time when you go to work. You get up, you go to different departments, you get some documents, you photocopy or scan something, so you move all the time. So this is something that you have to pretend to do or really do literally at home. Of course, you will not be able to go to different departments or make a photocopy or do things exactly as you do at the office, but still you can create some habits for your physical health. So what can you do to do so? First of all, when you talk on the phone, stand or walk around the room. Okay, so if you do not have to take notes, if you do not have to sit and be like on the computer while taking the phone call, Just simply stand up or walk around. If you have to think of something creatively, again, get up and walk around. Don't stay stable and don't stay in the sitting position. Another thing, when you read your emails, always do some simple shoulder or leg exercises. So move different parts of your body as much as you can to take care for your physical health. And believe me that if you do so, this will become later on kind of habit, and you will even not realize after some time that you keep doing so. And no rush, no pauses. So slow means smooth, smoothly means fast. This is one of the mottos that we really like and wanted to include in our presentation. And now time to talk about planning. So good planning is the basis for organizing your work. Whether it is a housework or work related to your job and career, anyhow, good planning is always the very, very best idea. So how can we do that? What tools can we use to plan our work? First of all, the calendar. Okay, so the calendar or calendars are the basis for planning. So you know that right now there are so many different options and so many different kinds and types of calendars available. So you need to simply have a kind of research and check what you like, what your preferences are, and what you find useful. So this could be calendars on the paper, like paper ones. This could be electronic calendar. It could be any other thing like digital one or whatever to plan to work with them. Okay, so we are going to present templates for you, templates for planning, which are not really a calendar because there are not no specific dates on it. But you will be able to adjust those templates for any month, any week, and any day. So this is what we are going to show you in a second. So our suggestion is to use at least one of those templates, but in the best case, all of them. So you can plan your monthly, weekly, and daily program and work in advance before you start. So let me show you our ideas for the planning and the templates that we have prepared for you in this manner. So we are going to start with the most general one, which is a monthly planner. So you can see that you can use it for any month because you have the numbers here. So whichever month it is, you will be able to use it. At the top in the blue box, you can write the name of the month. So is it January or May or July or whatever. So you will later on be able to check what you have completed in particular month or what you still need to do. So urgent deadline tasks is the first column, important tasks, the second one, and comments, the third column. So this is what you need to fill in regarding to your tasks, your preferences, and your needs. The second table that I want to show you is the weekly planner. So here we have the days of the week from Monday to Friday. If you work on Saturday and Sunday, then please adjust the chart and add Saturday and Sunday as well. So first one, the first column is urgent tasks or deadline tasks. So those that you need to finish by particular date, those that are more important than others. The second column are important tasks, those that do not have any deadline but still are pretty important and of course must be done. And comments, if you have any notes that you would like to take here, just write them down and you will be able to check them whenever, and at least you will not forget what you had on your mind. The last chart that I want to show you, the last table, is the daily planner. So on the left, you have the timings. Again, you can adjust them according to your needs. Then you have solid elements, like things that always happen and won't change. So for example, always email review between 8 and 8:15, or the break around 12, email review again, or plan for tomorrow. So what you have here is the space to plan particular days. So again, in advance, you can focus on what must be done on particular dates, specific dates, and using those three planners, those three templates will help you to plan your time very effectively. And I believe that it will be much easier for you to work effectively here when you simply follow the list of the tasks that you had written before the particular date even arrives. So always do it before, in advance. So the daily planner should be prepared the day before, weekly, for example, or on Friday or on Sunday before the next week starts, and monthly again at the end of each month. Start or finish your work by planning your next steps and tasks. So this is a sentence that really summarizes what we have just said. If you if you act according to the plan, all will be much easier. So definitely the steps that you know that have to be taken and the tasks that you know that have to be completed must be simply on the list and must be included in your templates and planners and module that we have just showed you. When you plan your tasks and when you plan your activities and time, please plan according to priorities. Okay. Often at work, it happens that if we do not have a clear priority, if we do not have a clear purpose, we get very busy, but we do many different things at the same time. And in fact, at the end, we notice that the work goes undone. Okay, so my colleague from Poland has included here a common joke that was told under socialism in Poland. So a representative from the ministry came to inspect the construction site and sees several workers running back and forth, pushing empty wheelbarrows. Puzzled, he stops one builder and asks, "Why are you running back and forth with an empty wheelbarrow like that?" To which the construction worker replies, "Is there so much work to do that there is no time to upload?" Okay, so to plan according to priorities, we have one tool for you, and one of the best tools, in fact, for managing priorities is the Eisenhower matrix. So we are going to show you what the Eisenhower matrix is, and it is also one of our extra materials. So what you need to do is to ask yourself which tasks are important or not important, urgent and not urgent. So you're going to write yourself tasks for the following week. It can be a work area, it can be a personal development or housekeeping, any kind of task related to different spheres of your life could be included in Eisenhower matrix. So let me show you what it exactly is and how you will see it in our materials when you open it. So this is what you are going to have the Eisenhower matrix. It is used to prioritize tasks to be completed at a specific time. So on the left, we have important, unimportant, and at the top, urgent, not urgent. So important, urgent might be crisis situations, urgent matters, tasks with a completion date, so deadline. So here you are going to write something like this. Not urgent, but still important are daily activities, the planning, and looking for new solutions. Urgent, but unimportant, some phone calls, some correspondences, reports, meetings, upcoming pressing matters. Not urgent and unimportant are time wasters, pleasures, everyday life, work, some phone calls, and correspondence. Okay, so again, this is something that you need to fill in and you need to adjust according to your needs, your work, and your simply lifestyle or habits. So under the example, you have the empty matrix. So this is what you need to fill in. Again, the same as a little bit earlier, you have unimportant, important, urgent, not urgent, and you need to fill it in accordingly. Okay, so this is the Eisenhower matrix, and we hope you will find it useful as well. So let's continue. When we plan any work, we need to have some principles. You need to find out for yourself what ways of working work for you. So think about your organization, okay? And we have two different rules here or principles. The first one is called the frog principle. It says, get down to the most difficult cases or those you don't like at first. Okay, so you have to focus and start with the tasks that you do not find very pleasant or enjoyable. Those tasks that you find the most difficult or the most tiring should be done first, according to the frog principle. The second is the 25-minute rule. So work in intervals of 25 minutes. Take a moment to take a break or change activity and then return to work for another 25 minutes of full concentration. Why 25 minutes? Because 25 minutes is the concentration time of an adult. This is like scientific knowledge here and information that you can find very easily, that average adult can focus for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, it's not so effective. So after 25 minutes, you need a break or you need a change of activity, and then you can return to the previous task for another 25 minutes. So this is like a magic number that you need to remember, and you should adjust your working timing according to that. 25 minutes, a break or activity change, and then again 25 minutes. In this way, you will work much more effectively than in any other way. Okay, so we have been mentioning that concentration on focus is very important, but do you really know if you can concentrate or not? And do you really know how to exercise your focus and your concentration of attention? So in our materials, you have a file which is called Attention Concentration Exercise. And I'm going to show it to you right now. It is a very simple exercise that takes approximately 10 to 15 minutes. You need a piece of paper, okay? And your task is to write the numbers from 1000 to 0 in sequence, jumping every 3. So we have just started it for you. So from 1000 you go down towards 0. 997, 994, 991, 988, and so on. So until 0, and this is something that will help exercise your concentration. Let's continue. When you focus and when you try to pay attention to your work, you may be distracted by different factors. Okay, so when you try to work, think about things that distract you. What really distracts you? So are these your inner thoughts, like your inner monologue, or maybe the sounds of the outside world? So these are like realizing what distracts you will help you to get rid of these things, of these factors, and simply make your concentration and work easier. So features conducive to remote working is definitely self-discipline, conscientiousness, and flexibility. You can develop each of these qualities in yourself. You can, of course, start with our materials. You can do some research or check the list of links that we provide on our website and work on these spheres on your personal life, and your personal development is something very important here. So these qualities you can develop in yourself, by yourself, without any help, using the simplest materials. Procrastination is the enemy of most of us. So how can we get rid of the things that we distract us? Okay, make sure that the factors that are around you, whether these are inner thoughts, as we said, or sounds of the outside world, or any other factor that distracts you, just get rid of them. Otherwise you will not be able to focus and you will not be able to work effectively. Another thing is, are you persistent? Okay, so in the materials that we have provided for you, you have a test to see how persistent you are. So we are going to do the test right now together. So please take a piece of paper and a pen or pencil so that you will be able to write the numbers of the questions and your answer A, B, or C. So I will read the questions to you and I will show you the questions on the screen, and you will be able to answer them together with me. And then I will show you how to count the results and what the results really mean. Okay, so here we go. Are we persistent? This is the question. What do you do when trouble comes in your life? Do you carry out the tasks entrusted to you despite the difficulties, or do you let go? So there are 25 questions, okay? You just need to write numbers from 1 to 25 and the answer A, B, or C next to each question. So to make it easier, you can see the questions on the screen, but I will also read them for you so that we can solve the test together. Number 1, you've been working at the same company for 5 years, but you are not getting promoted. Others get better positions than you. What do you do? A, you resign and look for another job. B, you work even harder to gain recognition. C, you go to your boss complaining about unfair treatment. So please write number 1, A, B, or C according to what you think, what you believe, and what first came to your mind. Number 2, you buy a product that turns out to be defective. You take it to the store, but the seller shows indifference. What do you do? A, you are giving him or her hell until you get a positive answer. You go home and write a letter to the store manager detailing your dissatisfaction. You resign from making a complaint. You won't achieve anything anyway. Again, please write number 2, A, B, or C, according to your thoughts and beliefs. Number 3, you fell ill during a trip to a distant country. What do you do? A, you make radio contact with your homeland and ask for a plane to take you home. B, you grit your teeth and keep going anyway. C, you order rest to recover, then continue your journey. The question number 4 is, it appears from the development plan that your house is about to be demolished. All your neighbors have already received compensation and move out. What are you doing? A, you leave until the local authorities forcibly remove you. B, you collect the maximum possible compensation and move out. And C, you're moving out under pressure after causing trouble for the city. Number 5, you buy an old house that needs a major renovation. What do you do? A, you work alone for a few months, then you lose your enthusiasm. B, you complete renovation work even though it takes many months or hard work. And C, you only do basic work. Number 6, after taking a new job, you discover that your predecessor left a huge mess. What do you do? A, you go to your boss to complain about inherited problems. B, you try to clean up the mess, but you explain to everyone that it's not your fault. C, you work hard until everything is in order. Question number 7. You are learning how to drive a car, but despite many hours of hard work, you still can't reverse park your vehicle. What do you do? A, you keep trying until you succeed. B, the day before the exam, you try to do everything on time. C, you take a coffee break and try again. Question number 8. Your research, the fruit of lifetime, is seriously threatened by another scientist's research. What will you do? A, you accept the new results as kindly as possible. B, you dismiss the new results out of hand and continue your own research. C, you analyze new results to see if they warrant a new approach. Question number 9. You love someone unrequitedly. What do you do? A, don't lose hope. You couldn't love anyone else. B, you stop having feelings for this person. Someone new will surely appear. C, you keep trying, but you keep your eyes open for someone new, more open. Number 10. For years, you have been trying unsuccessfully to break the 100-meter record. You decide to change the discipline to a less demanding one. Is answer 1. A. B. You work hard making one more try. C. You promise yourself to practice until you get what you have planned. You are very elderly and your relatives want you to move into a retirement home. This is question number 11. A, you accept their proposal as the best solution. B, you decide to stay in your own home even if it means death. C, you accept the compromise by moving into a semi-care home. Question number 12. You are a military commander who has been unsuccessfully trying to gain the enemy's position for several days, suffering significant casualties. What do you do? A, you retreat and devise another maneuver. B, you continue the attack despite further casualties. C, you call the demand asking for new orders. Question number 13. Although you play chess passionately, there is a player in your club that you can't beat. What do you do? A, you accept the fact that you will never be as good as him. B, you analyze your chess strategy and practice until you manage to beat your opponent. And C, you keep practicing, but you don't believe you can win. Number 14, you made 3 failed attempts to pass a certain exam. What do? You decide to try one last time. B, you keep trying, you succeed or you fail. And C, you give up and try something new. Number 15, you are trying to teach your child a foreign language, but the child does not show the slightest interest. Every lesson turns into a battle. What do? A, you insist on learning more. One day your kid will thank you for it. B, you wait until the child grows up and wants to learn on his or her own. C, give it a rest. The child will definitely not grow up to be linguistic. 16, you decide to buy something on sale, but it turns out that crowds of people have come to the store ready to fight for the best things. What do? A, you give up shopping and go to the cinema. B, try to break through the crowd no matter the time. C, you settle for the little things that not so many people crowd into. Question number 17. You find out that you have an incurable disease. A, you question the diagnosis. After all, doctors are known to be wrong. B, you put your affairs in order and you say goodbye to your loved ones. C, you hope your health will improve, but you prepare for the worst. 18. Which of the following statements best describes you? Do the job or die is A. Choose the line of least resistance is B. Work hard for as long as possible is C. Do you think that the one who escaped from the battlefield will fight the next day? And here you have again ABC answers, but A is no, B possible, C yes. Do you believe that you cannot win against bureaucracy? Again, A no, B possible, C yes. Do you think sometimes it's better to give up and endure great suffering? A no, B possible, C yes. Do you think you should finish the race even if you have no chance of winning? A no, B possible, C yes. Question number 23. How far would you go in defending principles? A, to the point where it would become inconvenient. B, until death. C, as long as I could take the strength. Do you think perseverance is an admirable virtue? A, no. B, possible, C, yes. And the very last 25th question is, would you consider running a marathon assuming you were physically able to do it? A, no. B, possible, C, yes. Okay, so in front of you, you now have all the answers. We will not have time to check it now, but please take a screenshot of the points, which question, which answer gets how many points. And when you sum them and when you have a total number, you will have the result. So if it is over 65 points, where maximum is 75, but if you scored above 65 points, you are a really persistent person, 100 times more tenacious than the average wimp. In a way, this attitude deserves praise, but people can read your steadfastness as a pose. If your score is between 55 and 64, you are also a persistent person and certainly not someone who gives up without a fight. However, you know your own limitations well. And the last group, between 45 and 54, you are tough, but you won't find without a good reason. So again, please check your points, count the total, and you can have a look on which group you are and what it means for you. So please take a picture of the screen or a photo. You can also find the whole test and the results, test results among our materials. So let's go back to the presentation and let's summarize quickly what we have already said. So you need to take care of the place. You need to take care of your tools. You need to take care of your body. You need to make a good plan, and to do so you can use our templates that we have presented here. You have to prioritize your tasks and work and know the advantages and disadvantages of your action and grow. So Polish team included again one of the proverbs from their country. Krakow was not built in an instant. So it simply means that the principles of small steps still applies and you should also use it. So this is simply it. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching our webinar. We hope that you found it useful and we hope that you will use our materials in your everyday life and at work. As I promised, just a few more sentences regarding the project generally at the very end. So as I said, the Active Woman project was implemented by Poland, Cyprus, Romania, and Turkey, higher educational institutions and different organizations regarding higher education. And the project is in line with the Europe 2020 strategy. Its implementation is in line with the objectives of the strategic framework for European cooperation in education and training E2 2020, such as improving the quality and effectiveness of education, training, and the implementation of the lifelong learning concept. So the main goal of the whole project is to activate women by showing them model solutions in the field of preparation for remote work, and through support in the form of e-learning trainings. You can see the e-learning courses here on our website, webinars like the one that we have carried out just right now, and the preparation of a tutorial for learning remote work, a practical guide with the teacher by all the partners that were engaged in the project, which, as I mentioned, are Poland, Cyprus, Romania, and Turkey. So the main activities in the project is development of 3 innovative e-learning courses that you can find on our website in different fields, mainly computer operation, ability to work with software for remote work, learning specialist programs on the example of accounting and HR programs, and English language learning focus on specialist language within specialist computer programs. Another one was to develop a digital guide, a tutorial for learning to work remotely, and activities undertaken under the project are carried out with the participation of experts and practitioners in the field of work of psychology and career counseling with the use of new multimedia. So this is simply what I wanted to share with you today, and thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching this webinar, and we hope that whatever you heard here and whatever you saw will be useful for you and will simply let you work more effectively. So remember to visit our website and use the materials freely. You can share them with your friends, colleagues, or family members, and we will be very happy if you do so. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day and good luck. Thank you.